Once upon a time, there was a boy, not yet a man. I ran from them. I literally ran from them.
I thought for some reason I might have told you guys all of my stories. It appears that I didn't.
Man, I got this story, right? So I was a teenager, right? But I had this girl. My sister came home. She's like, I caught her kissing some girl. And she goes out with another dude. I heard you was with that bitch Nancy. And you with some Mexican dude. So she was like, please, I'll do anything. I said, I need $200 and I want to bust on your face. All my friends, none of them were black and nobody was lit. So I used to yearn to be like a part of a lit black crowd. I remember being like 17, just shit up. They was building new 2-story houses. Me and all my black friends went there busting light bulbs. Like I said, I used to always get screwed over by black barbers. Like there was this one barber, man, I think I was like maybe 19, right? You know, I got numerous cuts from this guy. He's like, this cut only gonna cost you 15. Matter of fact, slide me actually 15 hots. That's gonna be 30 hots. When you come back, I got you for the free cut next time. Yeah, signature barbershop. I said, yeah, can I speak to Love? I'm looking to try to get a haircut. Oh, we're sorry, Love no longer works here. I told you guys this story where there was this chick and she was just like, so like, were you ever gonna contact me again? Like, I said, honestly, usually I don't date women that fart in their sleep. You know, I remember, I tried voodoo on somebody when I was a kid. There was this kid that I hated that I tried to do voodoo on. All right, so here's a real creepy one. So there was this chick that I was with, but she wasn't never like authentically my girl, this Spanish piece. She did some fucked up shit out of character. Contacted another chick, sent the girl she had no business sending her. I said, I was never fucking with you on that type of level. She's like, I'm sorry, like I'll do anything to keep talking to you. I said, you gotta devote your fucking soul to me. I said, I'm gonna put one of those witchcraft stars with candles lit and your soul is mine. Man, I got this story, right? All right, so look. So I was a teenager, right? But I had this girl. She was one of my ex-girlfriends. And I knew she was a slut when I got with her. But you know, when you're a kid, like you don't really care. You're just like, damn, I got a girlfriend. Damn, and she's not black. So wow, this is something new for me. And so basically what happened was my sister came home and she was like, yeah, she was like, such and such is a hoe. I said, huh? She was like, I caught her kissing some girl. And she goes out with another dude. I said, what? And she used to call me after school every day. So she called me, she's like, hey baby. She called me after school. I was like, fuck you, bitch. You know, back when I was like a simp ass, I was like, fuck you, bitch. She was like, she was like, what the fuck? What did I do? I said, you stupid ass fucking bitch. I heard you was fucking with that bitch Nancy and you fuck with some fucking Mexican dude. She was like, no, I didn't. I said, I got proof. My sister told me, you stupid ass fucking bitch. And she was just like, oh my God, I'm sorry. She was like, I'm sorry, Mom. I was like, nah, bitch. I said, it's over, it's done. Fuck you, stupid ass shit. I knew I should never trusted you anyways. You fucking ass bitch. Wait a minute, this feels too good. So so she was like, please, I'll do anything. I said, all right. I said, I need $200 and I want to bust on your face. I'm not joking. Nah, she wasn't Mexican. She was Filipino. I kid you not. This bitch came over the next day with my 200. Nut shot all over the face. She said, do you forgive me now? Looked up at all the nut all over her face. She's like, do you forgive me now? I said, I guess. I said, you ever fucking do some shit like that again, it's over, bitch. She's like, I'm sorry. Like, can I have a washcloth? True story. I forgot about that one for a minute. I have another one too. All right, so here's a real creepy one. So there was this chick that I was fucking with, but she wasn't never like authentically my girl, this Spanish piece. So she did some fucked up ass shit out of character. She was never my girl. Contacted another chick talking about, you know, and sent the girl shit she had no business sending her. Like, sent her like personal shit that she begged me for, that I went in the stash from years ago and gave her. The other girl hit me like, wow, she's like, you're sending bitches shit like this? I said, first off, that's from my recycling bin. That's nothing like currently or up to date. She's like, wow. She's like, we're through. The other girl kept calling me crying and shit. The bitch that sent her the shit. I said, you fucking disloyal ass bitch. I said, what the fuck you want from me, bitch? She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, but you lied. I said, I didn't lie, bitch. You were never my fucking girl, bitch. So why the fuck would you contact somebody when you was never my fucking girl, you dumbass fucking bitch? She's like, I'm sorry. I said, fuck you, shit. And I was just like going off on this chick. So of course she did the same shit. She's like, I'm sorry, like I'll do anything to keep talking to you, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, please. I said, all right, I got something I could think of. I said, I'll call you. So I thought about something out of the ordinary. I said, all right. I said, in order for me to fuck with you again, I said, you got to devote your fucking soul to me. She's like, what does that even mean? Like, I said, you have to devote your fucking soul. I said, I'm gonna put one of those witchcraft stars in the middle of my fucking carpet with candles lit, and you gotta fucking devote your fucking soul to me. And I've got a whole thing I want you to recite, and your soul is mine, bitch. She was like, I'll do it. She's like, just please, like. I didn't really go that far, like, yeah, the pentagram thing. I actually didn't have her do it. I just wanted to see if she would do it. She admitted that she would. I just ended up letting her come over and bust it all over. I just wanted to see like if she would do it. I had a chick try to scratch me. Yeah, I always stop them. Don't try to scratch me. Don't try to suck on me. Like no hickeys, no scratches. None of that. I once had this Cuban chick. I thought she was so fire, and then I started fucking her, and this chick was just too wild. Like, she was one of those black Cubans. This is a different black Cuban. She was fucking me. She was riding me, and she started biting me. I said, stop, and I grabbed the back of her hair. She's like, ugh. She's like, let my hair go. I was like, all right, and she kept biting me again. I said, didn't I say stop? And she was like, all right. Like I said, I used to always get screwed over by black barbers. Like there was this one barber, man, I think I was like maybe 19, right? So this fucking barber, I used to always get my cut from him. I don't know how I found out about this dude. I think I got lucky or some shit. Maybe it's through social media, but it was this black dude named Love. So he used to cut my shit up, and it took me so long to find this barber because for the longest time I would just get a pair of clippers and just cut my hair to a number 2 everywhere and line my shit up to a SEIZURE. So I remember I fucking, I got numerous cuts from this guy, right? And it was this one time after I got a cut, he's like, hey, my nigga. He was like, yeah, he's like, all right, so he's like, this cut only gonna cost you 15, but he's like, shit, slide me the extra 15 hots. And that's gonna be, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, slide me the extra 15 hots. That's gonna be 30 hots. And he's like, shit, when you come back, I got you for the free cut next time. And I didn't have the same brain as I do now. I would have been thinking like, wait a minute. So I'm basically just paying you for a cut for next time. But I didn't even say that. I was just like, cause I didn't really, I was a kid. I didn't have no money like that. So I was just like, man, I said, damn, I don't know if I could really do the extra 15. He's like, my brother, he was like pat me on the chest. He said, my brother, he's like, slide me the extra 15. That's the 30. Next time you come through, you gonna have a free cut, my nigga. I was like, he convinced me for a while. I was like, all right, slid him the 30 ones, slid him the $30. He's like, all right, my nigga, I got you. Good looking on the extra 15 hots. He's like, I see you in 2 weeks, my nigga. He's like an older dude. I was like, all right, cool. When it was time for me to get my hair cut in 2 weeks, I called. They said, yeah, Signature Barbershop or whatever the fuck it was called. I said, yeah, can I speak to Love? Is Love in? I'm looking to try to get a haircut. They was like, oh, we're sorry. Love no longer works here. I was like, oh, okay. This bitch ass nigga straight up asked me for the extra 15 because he knew he was fucking leaving the job and scammed me for an extra $15. Yeah. Blacks. Telling you, man, you can't do business with most niggas, bro. Nah, you just can't. Scam me for 15. Like, slide me the 15 hots, my brother. I got you next time you come through, my nigga. Yeah, he was doing all the hand movements and everything. Like, he's like my brother. He's like, slide me the extra 15 hots. When you come through next time, that cut free. He's like, just slide me the 15. That you not even. Yeah, I got fed. I mean, that wouldn't happen to me now, but I mean, I was like, it's a teenager, so buy shoes from blacks. Why would I need to do that? I mean, unless it's a black person flipping them on fucking StockX or eBay, I wouldn't know. But I'm not gonna like look for a nigga to buy shoes from. No. Yeah, he probably scammed multiple people for a cut that day. Probably told his peoples like, shit, I came up, my nigga. Everybody that came in for a cut, shit, I convinced him to give me an extra 15. Walked out that bitch and quit with an extra 300 for the day, bruh. Hey, smoke and drink on me on the real, nigga. That's probably what he was telling his people.
No, but I kind of feel like from my experience,
Said red meat lowers the pH. It also makes your bowel movements stinkier too. If you're eating a bunch of red meat, like all those chicks that eat them big ass steak dinners and all that type of shit. Imagine when they fart and dookie. Like I told you guys, there was a chick that I told you guys this story where there was this chick, you know, I allowed her to get some dick a couple of times or whatever. But long story short, you know, we built up this quote unquote sexual chemistry before we actually met. So when she came through, we automatically fucked. But I told her before she comes through, I say, you know, is it fresh? Blah, blah, blah. You know, the pH levels got to be confident. She's like, oh my God, yes, they're going to be confident, blah, blah, blah. Like I just showered, I'm on my way. You know, she comes through with big ass like football player shoulders damn near wider than mine, big ass delts and shit like that. But I was like, all right, 5'7" Hispanic chick, I'll beat, fuck it. You know, she had that extra creamy and cheesy. No scent. The next time she comes over, what happens? Now, I warned her before she came through. She kept asking me to come through. I looked at her story. She was at some bar eating fucking desserts and fucking prime rib and all that type of shit. So she's like, can I come through tonight? I said, are you going to go home and shower first? I know you just came from the bar. She's like, oh my God, I'm fresh. I showered before I left. I was just like, all right, cool, I guess. So she came through in leather pants. So I was like, ah, shit, she might be foul. So she came through in leather pants. Hold on real quick. She came through in leather pants. When I tell you that I went to slide in and it was just that typical pussy smell and I just had to force fuck. I was just like, damn, I warned this chick about being foul. I warned her. She came over foul. But I had fucked her 3 times. The first time she was fresh. The second time she was semi-fresh but had somewhat of a pussy smell. The third time it was just foul. And then on top of that, the third time she spent the night and she kept farting in my fucking bed all night while she was asleep. So that was after she had the night of desserts and prime rib dinners and big fucking goddamn skillet of macaroni and cheeses and shit like that. She kept farting in my fucking bed all night. So, you know, when we woke up the next day, she was like, yeah, I was thinking, can we get like a quickie before I leave? I said, we're going to have to take a rain check on that. I don't know if they were stinky because I like trapped the fucking blanket on the other side. She just kept farting in her fucking sleep. And this wasn't even a bitch I was dealing with like that. Like it was just for like a hookup session. So after that, I went ahead and hit the unfollow. And then she like texted me something about sex and I like ignored it. We just stopped talking. And she was just like, so like, were you ever gonna contact me again? Like, what's up? I said, honestly, I said, usually I don't date women that fart in their sleep. I said, on top of that, the pH levels were not confident for the third time. I said, first time I let you slide, it was cool. It was fresh out the shower. Second time, it was semi-foul. Third, it was foul. She's like, whatever. And then just, yeah, we stopped talking. So yeah, farting in my bed and having a stank ass pussy. Yeah, that's something I'd rather just go senseless. All right, look, I think there's more too. So after this, there's been a big ass thing with Ja Morant with this gun. They've been monitoring his tweets. Somebody made this shit halfway crooks. So he went to private school. I told you, one of the worst things you could say to like a black kid that wants to be cool is expose that they went to a private school. I went through this shit. I used to want to be a thug and shit like that because I thought when you were a thug, you got bitches. I thought when you were a thug, niggas respected you and you could be cool around blacks. That used to be one of my goals in like 9th grade. Like, I wanted to be cool around the niggas. Like, I remember when I was in 9th grade, I just felt like such a geek because all my friends, like, nobody was cool. None of us got bitches. But then when I would look over there by the cafeteria, like, it just looked like a lit fucking party. Like, all the niggas was like dancing and saying, yeah, nigga. Hell yeah, nigga. You know what the fuck? Ah, nigga. You know what? Like, how many people in here are black? Don't cap. How many people in here are black? I'm gonna ask you a fucking question right now. How many people in here are black? Let me tell you something. To all my black people in here, tell me it don't feel good when you're having a good time around niggas until shit pops off. Like, when you're black and shit is just like, and it's lit and it's just a bunch of niggas, like, it's just an unexplainable type of feeling. Like, it's just everybody getting along. We got the same dialect. It's not on no bullshit. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, it's just like, it's an unexplainable vibe. You gotta be a nigga. You gotta know what I'm talking about right now. So that's what I wanted. Because all my friends coming out of junior high and shit like that into high school, none of them were black and nobody was lit. So I used to yearn to be like a part of a lit black crowd. And so I used to just want cool black friends so bad because I just wanted to be cool. I wanted to be around niggas. I just really wanted to be around my niggas. Like, I wanted that. I wanted to be around niggas wearing Jordans and getting bitches. That's what I wanted. So I know how Ja Morant feels. He's doing everything he probably couldn't really do, but now it's amplified because he's rich. So what did I do in 10th grade? The first day of school, 10th grade, my friends tried to kick it with me. I ran from these niggas every day till they stopped chasing me. They didn't like physically chase me, but I would see them at school and run. And I just tried to network with niggas. I started kicking it around blacks. I started just hanging around in the nigga area. So I understand how Ja Morant feels, like, cause I was that kid. So I know what the fuck it is. Like, it feels good to be like some fake ass honey badger. Like, anybody that's like from any type of like street environment, like, it feels good to do fuckery. Like, if it feels good to destroy shit and just be a like, I'm not saying I'm doing it. I'm not saying I'm doing it now, but man, like, the days of just being a nigga, like, just fucking shit up, just being around a bunch of niggas, just being a nigga, like, it's something that when you're young, depending on what type of upbringing you have, it's just something. It's just something that you want to fucking do. If there's anybody here black that came from any type of street environment, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. Like, anybody in here from an urban fucking area, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. I remember being like fucking 17, just fucking shit up. They was building new 2-story houses. Me and all my black friends went there, busting light bulbs, throwing fucking rocks at BMWs that passed, taking fire extinguishers. We was just doing destructive shit. And it just felt good. So I know how Ja Morant feels when he flashing a gun and being rich. But at the same time, it's also irresponsible because you got a Powerade contract. I wasn't a rich ass nigga, but you got a Powerade contract, you got a Nike contract. You're one of the faces of the new school in NBA. Like, this nigga Ja Morant is what, 3 years in the league? Like, to me, Ja Morant is my favorite newcomer player. I think the nigga's lit. I also like the fact that he's 6'2", but he got the mindset of like a 6'8" motherfucker. Got dunks, everything. Like, the nigga has the swag of Iverson. Like, he reminds me of like Iverson. Like, to me, that's what Ja Morant reminds me of. Iverson with more tenacity. It's hard to find it because it's like, it's kind of hidden. It's kind of hidden where it's like, it's taboo in a sense, but it was some video I was watching where it's saying that's one of the ways they were able to defeat them is through a lot of voodoo and black magic along with everything else. West Africa is on the come up. What? Because it's owned by Asians? On the come up from who? Blacks? You know, I remember I tried voodoo on somebody when I was a kid. Anybody ever seen the movie Tales from the Hood? Shut up, get out of here, man. So there was this story on Tales from the Hood where there was this kid that was getting bullied by this dude at school. So he like drew a picture, said some shit, and started like bending it, breaking it, so on and so forth, bending it, breaking it, everything. There was this kid that I hated that I tried to do voodoo on. Obviously, you can't just draw a fucking picture. I didn't know like what to say, but yeah, I've tried to do voodoo on a couple of people. Obviously I was a kid and I didn't know what happened. Also, I remember, I kid you not. All right, this is what me and my friend did. Look, so I was about 11 years old. All right, there was this fucking video game or like Sega Genesis or some shit. And this is what we did. All right, I don't know what the fuck we were thinking or any of that shit, right? So, check this out. So we were talking about it all fucking day. That we were gonna, I was gonna spend the night over at his house. He had his stepbrothers there. And we painted what's that witchcraft star? What is that shit? It's like is it a Jewish star or something like that? Here, let me see. That's Salem. I don't know what it is. Yeah, it was this shit. What is it called? A pentagram. So we made a pentagram out of salt with candles. Our parents were never home, so we did whatever the fuck we wanted. His mom was at work. My mom was on a fucking date or some shit. I don't fucking know. But we made a pinnacle of salt, right? And then we lit candles outside because we were obsessed with this warlock in this character. We was obsessed with this warlock in this video game. Hold on. We was like obsessed with warlock shit when we were growing up. So there's this old ass game that was like floating around. Like, I guess like his mom's boyfriend had this game called Eternal Champions, right? So Eternal Champions, Xavier. He's like, yeah, I got this cool game my mom's boyfriend gave me, blah, blah, blah. He gave me a Sega, whatever. So this dude in the game, we were like obsessed with magic and warlocks and shit. So this character right here, Xavier, right? He was a warlock in the game. Everybody knows what a warlock is, right? A warlock is a male, aka male witch. So we were like obsessed with like spells and warlocks, and we like thought we could do magic and shit. I don't know, we were kids, right? So this character, we were like obsessed with this character. We just like, yeah, we was on some weird shit. So, check this out. This is how dumb we were. So this character right here, we were obsessed with this warlock, devil-ass magic character. Like the fucking, we just really loved the music, the creepy shit about it, his stage, everything. We was like obsessed with this, like, this dark cult shit as kids, right? So we would like be reciting whatever this character, we really couldn't decipher what the fuck he was saying, but we would like keep reciting his shit and trying seances that we were like making up with like incense and candles and pentagrams and everything. So one night we're like, yeah, we're gonna try the Xavier whatever. So I kid you not, we get the salt, we make a pentagram, right? And we put candles around the pentagram and we like sit in Indian style. And we light we light the incense and we're like going like this. And fucking we repeat over and over and over again what this character is saying. We didn't know what the fuck we was doing, but we was just like obsessed with like dark magic and warlocks and shit like that. We like thought we could get powers and everything. So let me see if he could actually, if he says the word. Let me see. It says taunts and finishes. Here, let me see if I can find the taunt. I don't know what he's saying right here, but this shit right here, we like tried chanting it. Look, this weird shit he's saying. We thought it said like Supleton or some shit. I don't know what the fuck. So we kept repeating it slow, like hoping that we could like get visited from some being, and we thought we were gonna get powers and shit like that. So we just like kept repeating it slow. Like we kept repeating it slow. It was me, my friend Simpleton. Oh, okay, we said Supleton. We were kids. It was me, my friend, his two stepbrothers, and we were just sitting in we were sitting like around this pentagram, right? This salt pentagram with all these candles. The candles were behind us and we had incense and we kept repeating the shit. And then we just thought once we recited the shit, we were gonna get fucking powers. Yeah, good thing we didn't summon a damn thing, but yeah, we was on that weird shit. Yeah, for a minute I was obsessed with warlocks and alchemy and shit like that. It took me a long time to like stop researching Baphomet and demons, and that wasn't too long ago I was on that Baphomet shit. I was just really, not that I wanted to worship it, but I was just really fascinated. Like, is there a way like I could somehow get dark magic if I like study it enough? But you know, when you do dark magic, you gotta give something in return. You can't just do dark magic for free. You gotta, your soul is gone basically. You know, just, oh, I get to just do dark magic for free. Nah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I remember, man, I was like freaking people out. This was like 2017. I was like really like, I was like sending the homie all these Baphomet pictures, and this nigga was just like getting all terrified. I was like, well, don't fucking send me that fucking shit again. I'm just like sending them all these symbols, Baphomet pictures. I'm like fucking around with But yeah, you know, I even put some alchemy symbols on jerseys, but nobody really knew what the fuck it was. Niggas was just buying it, didn't even know I was like hiding symbols and shit in some of the jerseys. Wasn't nothing bad. I just wanted to see if anybody could figure out what type of shit I was on. Like the black and gold jerseys. Let's get back to video games before I start creeping you niggas out. Yeah, witchcraft is 100% real. But you don't want to fuck around with that type of shit, trust me. It's better to just stay away from it. But yeah, witchcraft is definitely real. Yeah. I don't want it half the time when it's given to me, let alone taking pussy. There's been times I've like literally, I remember plenty of times telling chicks to go home once I did a bang and sniff. And there's been times chicks have forcefully banged me, like, I'm not leaving. I remember some girl I could not get to leave my house. This is when I had like my first apartment or whatever. And she like came through after the club. Guys, don't ever fuck a chick after the club. Guaranteed her asshole and pussy's gonna be on file. So she came through after the club, you know, wearing some white pants, had on like some crop top thing or whatever. And we were about to fuck around and I did a bang and sniff and I was like, yo, can we just postpone? She's like, why? I said, because it's just, I think you need to take a shower. She's like, nigga, I just came home from fucking dance class. It was like this Cuban chick. And I was like, could you just please go home? And this chick would not leave, bro. She was just like leaning against my wall with her arms crossed. And I'm just like, could you just please? And she's like, only if you fuck me. I was just like, she's like, if you fuck me, then I'll leave at 4 a.m. So I had to fuck just to get her to go home. Had no choice, man. No, that chick, she used to like hold me hostage sexually. Like, I would be done after like one bust. And she would like forcefully make me fuck 2 more times. Like, she would never allow me to come once. And I just did not want to do it. But this chick was just like, she was like, you're not leaving until you make me come multiple times and you're coming 2 more times. I'm like, oh my God, I should already just bend over for back shots. I feel like every year on Christmas, my mom's husband lames the fuck out, but I'm the one that comes with the top tier shit. And it shouldn't be like that. It should be the other way around. Every single Christmas, this nigga comes through lame. All right, let me think of all the lame ass gifts that he's gotten her that I remember. All right, so one year my mom was really upset because she didn't think she was getting shit. So last minute, her husband bought her like a cheap ass fucking Android tablet. Yeah, I'm playing Smash tonight. He bought her a cheap ass Android tablet. Now me, I know technology, so I was like, damn, this nigga really just be half-assing, bro. So he got her a cheap ass tablet. My mom doesn't know tech like that, so he got away with it. She was like, oh, look what such and such bought me. I was like, eh. The next Christmas, she didn't think she was getting shit again. So I was like, oh shit, mom. I said, what did such and such get you? She was like, oh, he got me some nice leather boots. Like, she tried to gas up his gift knowing it was trash. I know how shit goes. Like, I watch my mom only, you know, like, I know the type of woman my mom is and she settled. So got her some cheap ass leather boots that year. Another year, he got her a cheap ass laptop. So as soon as she was like, oh, he got me a laptop for Christmas. I'm like, all right, cool. I said, let me see it. Got the laptop, immediately went to settings and checked the specs. Nigga got her some shit with like some fucking low ass gigs. No terabyte, low ass gigs, fucked ass resolution. Just because somebody don't know about tech don't mean you got a low ball like who you're married to. I said, oh, okay, this is cool. Passed the laptop back to her. I can't wait to see what the deal is this Christmas. Now me, I'm doing like double bags, $300 in cash, just throwing in the box for fun, Amazon cards. I'm just throwing in a whole fucking surprise box of excellence. Gucci perfume. I'm just throwing in dope shit. You know, you gave me life, so I can't be subpar. But this nigga, bro, her old track photos was God tier. That's what I'm saying. She could snap back. Like, the thing about women, like, women could have so many different identities. The way they look, everything. Like, this is just Christian Rock phase 1 or phase 2. Because we already seen phase 1. This is Christian Rock phase 2. She's only 22 years old. She got hella time to plenty of other lit guys and fucking look so much better. For her case, hopefully she continues to look better, but women got so many options, bro. You said she has Blueface tatted on her. I feel like that's a strategic way to keep somebody but still play them at the same time. When I was 17 going on 18, my girlfriend at the time, I came to school, right? And everybody's like, yo, bro, she got your name tattooed on her pussy, blah, blah, blah. I said, huh? They said, yeah, such and such got your name tattooed right there above her pussy. I was like, man, stop fucking around. Stop playing. They said, nigga, you gonna see. I pull up. You know, I hop off the bus. Obviously, I don't have a car. I pull up, hop off the bus. Bro, lo and behold, she had my name tattooed. She had my ex name tattooed. Not say ex name, like my past life name, tattooed right on her, right above her box. And she was just flossing that shit to everybody. But at the same time, while she had that shit tattooed, she was flirting with other dudes, sitting on other dudes' laps, sending other dudes fucking notes in class, everything. Mind you, I can't even tell the rest of the story because, yeah, but I kind of mentioned the story about how I was like socking up the soda machine because she was just sending some dude notes in class. But yeah, she still ended up being a flip. She still ended up, regardless of the tattoo, she still ended up being a complete devious slore. So it's a manipulation tactic. Like I said, women are so much more mentally advanced than guys when it comes to like how to get inside of somebody's mind because they got shit to hypnotize you. Sexy lips, sexy jawline, hips, titties. It's like they just visually look better, everything. So her getting Blueface tattooed all over, he might think he's winning, but at the same time, she could get all that shit covered up. She could get it lasered up. This is the first identity of Christian Rock. She's just gonna keep doing this shit, and I'm telling you, she's gonna find a more rich guy, this and that. She's gonna find a more rich guy. She's gonna do more shit. She's already got 2 different seasons of a reality show on Zeus without Blueface. Yo, I'm telling you, this is just phase 2 Christian Rock. Phase 1 was before all this shit. This is phase 2. And there's not really too much more to say about this. Mind you, that same chick had the most foul box, one of the most foul boxes I ever smelled in my life at that particular time. But I ended up fucking her like some years ago again. Ass was extra fat and juicy. Mind you, she was married, still is married to this day, but still is coming through to get fucked. She was still married to the same guy that she like cheated on me with when we were kids. She's still married to that guy, but she came back. Ass was hella fat, juicy, titties extra big and succulent, flat stomach, creaming on the D, cascading, succulent dome, pH levels confident. Like, that's one thing I gotta say about her. She still looks good. Like, she definitely didn't diminish. Yeah, I served her for like a summer. Not gonna tell you which year, but not too long ago. Like I said, she used to skip out on church on Sundays and run little errands and come fuck me. And her ass was so fat that after we got finished serving, she would put back on her tights and shimmy her big, fat, bubbly ass. I was just looking like, damn, how the fuck you marry this fucking skinny Luigi ass Latino dude, balding, not crispy, not clean, not swole, just getting BBC on the low. Like, yeah, this motherfucker looked like a straight up liquor store clerk. Thin ass fucking hair on the top, grimy ass facial hair, short than a motherfucker. All of that. That motherfucker was an Italian. Have you ever seen anyone have a seizure? Yeah. When I was a kid, me and my friends, we did this dumbass shit. So there was this white dude named Joey. He's like, yo, I want to try some shit on you guys. It was like me and my other black friend, like one of the only black friends I ever had. And so he was like, all right, take deep breaths and I'm going to press on your chest. And we were like, all right. So he had did that shit to my friend first, and my friend like passed out and started seizuring on the ground. So I was like, all right, my turn. I think I might have been like, ooh, how old was I here? I think I was 11. So I was like, that looks cool. So I let him do the same thing to me. I kept breathing and he pressed on my chest. I fell out. Last thing I remember is I hit the back of my head on like some, you know, in like certain apartments, they have like the cable shit behind those wooden sliding doors. I hit my head on that and then I woke up like some seconds later and they're like, yeah, you were fucking seizuring. So yeah, if that answers your question. But you know what? I think he got his karma because there was a ball later. There was a ball like a month or two later that was stuck in a tree and he climbed the tree to get the ball and he fell from way up there in the tree and fell straight on his back. It was like, ugh. And he was just crying like, ugh. And me and my fucking friend was just dying. We was just like, are you okay? But we was just like crying behind the tree. Like that shit was so fucking funny. Yo, if I had the camera on, I would show you how he looked when he fell. I remember that shit like it was yesterday, bro. Yeah, he got the air knocked out of him. That was one of the best friends I ever had, man. There's this white guy named Joey. This motherfucker had all the systems. He had Nintendo 64. He had fucking all the shit, man. That was the guy who, when he first got his 64, before we were cool, I was only allowed to watch him play Mario 64 through the window. Man, yeah, man, I was like really sad when that dude moved because one day I went to go knock on the door. I was like, yeah, is Joey here? She was like, I'm sorry, sweetie. She's like, Joey moved to Alaska. His grandma used to cook this fire-ass breakfast, too. Motherfucker that was the last I seen of him. I just knocked on the door one day. She said he moved to Alaska. I don't like thinking about the past, though. If there's anything that fucks with me mentally, it's the past. I would say that's like like my only weakness is nostalgia. That shit murders me on the inside. Like, it's like, the times were like so good and blissful, it kills me on the inside. So I try my hardest not to think about that type of shit. I call it, I know there's probably something more clinical you can call it or technical you could call it, but to me, I call it painful nostalgia. Thank you for the 30. I appreciate it. Let me see what you said. You said, reminds you of times when people would get messed up when you was younger. Yeah. Painful nostalgia. So even people from my past, I don't like to like see him or nothing like that because it just gives me flashbacks. So like, you know, so I'm just like, yeah, I just rather not talk to these people. Does the chick's past matter? If she doesn't want to hold herself accountable, yeah. It matters if she had a threesome. I once was gonna kick it with this chick and she's like, you think we could wait like a whole week? As soon as she said that, she's like, you think we could wait a week? I'm not regular right now. As soon as she said that, I said, this bitch must have had caught clap or something. That's the first thing that popped in my head. I said, why, you caught an STD or some shit? She was like, no, I used the wrong soap, so my shit is foul right now. I was just like thinking in my head, well, damn, like I could be like extra grossed out, but at least the bitch didn't like allow herself to kick it around me with a stank ass pussy and kept it a buck. Most chicks would have just pulled up, brought over their stank ass pussy, and then tried to act like their shit wasn't foul. I said, what do you mean? It's foul? She was like, just it has an odor right now. I said, what type of odor? She was like, you want me to tell you for real? I said, yeah. She was like, like shrimp. I said, damn. I responded. I said, you know what? I said, look. I said, you're not from Cali, huh? She's like, no, I'm from Florida. I said, yeah, no Cali bitch is gonna admit her box is foul. I said, I'm gonna just take my hats off to you. I never ended up kicking it with her. But I was like, I'm gonna take my hats off to you because there's no chick that I've ever known that told me that if they come through, their shit's gonna be foul, so let's wait. That's what I'm saying. She kept it real, but she dead ass said her pussy smelled like shrimp. She said she used the wrong soap and it made her box foul. But I'm not gonna lie, she did actually try to get me to fuck. I said, all right, we could just try to kick it or whatever like that, you know, at a different time. She's like, why? She's like, you could just use a condom. I was like, I'm not about to just openly bang some stank, but protect my dick with a piece of plastic. Like, what if my dick had an actual brain? Like, I'm just entering a hole. It's like, no. Well, actually, that on micro would sound like that. Mine's would be like, no. I always think it's funny too when a chick would be like, they'll say some shit. Like, you knew your box was foul, so you try to like say, wow, I don't like the way my pussy smelling right now. Like, you already knew your shit was foul already, but you're gonna say like, you don't like, after we bang, you're gonna sit over here and say you didn't like the smell because the pH levels weren't 100% correct. I had a chick that will always do that. It was like this little Latina piece. It was like sometime in 2018. And it was like I was taking these acting classes and she lived like 15 minutes away in LA. I used to take them in LA. And I used to go over there, drink shots of Patron. Like, I was just on some different shit back then. And she used to just ride me on her sectional couch. But it was something about that bitch, just like, pussy, like, it would just have like this cottage cheese that would come out of it. And like, sometime it would just have this pussy smell. And she's like, oh my God, I just don't like the way my fucking pussy smells today. I'm just like, man, this bitch, fuck, like, I remember this bitch's apartment used to be so dirty. I used to go over there, be doing this bitch's dishes, bleach spraying her floors, mopping. I said, when's the last time you cleaned? She's like, oh my gosh, I had a rough fucking week at school. Like, I didn't feel like cleaning shit. You know, the funniest thing is when I was fucking with this chick, right? This is how I knew she was like a hoe. For one, she refused to tell me her body count. For two, it was one time I came over there to take her out on a date, right? We was gonna go get like, I was going to go to Cheesecake Factory or something. I went out to LA, you know, got dressed. This is when I used to be wearing like a lot of boots and shit. I used to always like put boots on with every fucking thing. But so I go over and she opened the door and I tried to kiss her and she's like, who said you're allowed to kiss me? Like, we're not together. I was like, oh yeah, this bitch is a slut. I said, oh, my bad. I said, I just figured, you know, I came in, seen you. I said, my bad, I won't do that again. What happened after the kiss? Oh, nothing. We went out to the Cheesecake Factory. You know, we went out, hit a movie, went back to her apartment, fucked all night. That's basically it. I left in the morning. Last time I talked to her was like before COVID in 2020. She's like, you want to go hiking or something like that? I was like, I think I made up some fucking excuse. Do I offer girls a mint? No, gum, I do. I ended up fucking this chick the first night I met her though. This is back when I was on like every dating website. So I was on POF. And I matched like with this little Latina, but she didn't have too many pics. She had like 2 pics. So I was like, what the fuck? Ended up getting her connect. I ended up kicking it with her literally the next day. Brought like 5 orange Red Bulls over there and a bottle of Patron. You know, we were drinking hella shots of Patron, drinking Red Bulls. I ended up fucking her that night. She's like, you didn't think I was gonna be down or what? I said, I don't know. I said, I really didn't come here expecting a fuck. I mean, I always would tell a chick that, like, I really didn't come here expecting a fuck. Oh, that's what I basically would always say. I've never like, I always knew there was a possibility I'm gonna bang whoever I kick it with the first night. But I just act like I'm oblivious when it comes to sex on purpose. If my pets ever attacked a girl, nah, they've hissed. I didn't even know POF was still a thing. Didn't that shit turn into like a cam site? I used to smash hella bitches off POF. You know what? I don't think I've ever fucked anybody off Tinder because it's just like a site full of like trans women and fucking fat bitches. Any chick ever forcing me to fuck? Plenty of times. So there's been plenty of times I've woken up and a bitch was just stealing dick. I'm like, I was like, damn, you just gonna steal some dick before you leave? They're like, yep. And just start sucking me up and fucking me. Because what I always do is I'll like I said, I've always liked to get women frustrated. Like I'll just lay there, I don't make no moves. And then, you know, usually the chick will get frustrated and just start grabbing on my dick, start sucking me up, and just make the moves. I don't like making moves at all. I better find your line, I better find your heart. I remember when that album first came out, I was like playing that shit for bitches late at night on the phone. I was like, yeah, have you heard that new Alicia Keys and Drake? Wait, hold on. No, that was the fireworks shit. I was like, have you ever heard that new Drake? What do you think about that new Drake? Like, yeah, I heard it. Wow, what's up? I said, yeah, that new Alicia Keys and Drake. Like, that's kind of what I think about you when I hear the song Fireworks. Yeah, I was on some ooh. Oh! I wasn't even paying attention. I was using the first Drake album to try to get bitches. Be on the phone with a bitch like, yeah, you hear that new Drake in the background? She's like, I don't listen to Drake. Because remember, bitches didn't listen to Drake back then. So I was like, listen to that Fireworks. It's like, listen. It's like, everything is fireworks. All I see is fireworks. I said, yeah, that's how like I'm feeling that fireworks when I talk to you. All I see is fireworks. Like, man, back then, bitches was not feeling Drake at all. Like, you tell a bitch you listen to Drake, they're like, Drake? How now? What the fuck? Like, bitches didn't start fucking with Drake like that or even paying attention to him until, like, Marvin's Room. Fuck that nigga. And then they still weren't liking Drake. They just liked that song. Because you guys remember the trend on YouTube back then? Like, for everybody, every dude to make a Marvin's Room song. I remember there was this girl I had a crush on when I was in school. So she's like, yeah, she's like my boyfriend. She's like, he did like, well, we used to always talk, but she was dating like, I guess the owner of the school or some shit, some bald, ugly motherfucker. He was fat and everything now, but her name was Ale. She was like, you know, one of those like Spanish chicks, but she looked white, but she was Mexican. I used to try getting at her. We used to have long talks, everything. She's like, oh my gosh. She's like, my boyfriend did like a Marvin's Room thing. She's like, you want to see it? I was like, and he was just like all on YouTube, like, fuck that nigga. I was like, what the fuck? I'm thinking like, this is what you like? I mean, I used to be on some super simp shit back then. I used to couldn't go a day without listening to music, trying to dedicate songs to bitches. Like, bullshit. Whatever you want. Yeah, so I was in the gym today, right? And there's this I call her Madonna. You know, I don't talk to no chicks in the gym. And you know, you see people at the gym and shit like that. Like I knew this chick from Crunch, like early 2020. And you know, I would see her. Everybody transitioned from Crunch to 24-hour fitness once 24 opened up in 2000. When did that shit open up? It opened up sometime in 2020, I think, or 2021. I can't fucking remember. So I didn't see her in the gym for months. You know, you like see people, not that you're looking for them, but your regulars are not in there. So I see like this Becky that kind of resembles her, but like 3 times bigger. And I was like, I said, I know that's not her. But anyways, let me keep working out. I go to do like some hanging leg raises. I go to 24. I go to do some hanging leg raises, right? For some abs. I walk past her. She's like, excuse me. She's like, you're not going to say anything to me? I turn around. I was like, oh, that's you. And then I like caught myself because I didn't want to like say I didn't recognize her because she was big. I just, I was like, I said, oh, you know, the culture is basically like you're not supposed to talk to women in the gym. So I said, I didn't want to interrupt you what you had going on. She's like, oh no, it's okay. She was like, yeah. So, you know, I'm finally back. I was like, okay. I said, shit, I mean, you know, I see people around. I said, where you been? What's going on? She was just like, well, you know, I got into a relationship with a guy up here. He was really persistent. I gave him a chance. And basically he ended up beating my ass. You know, he first it started off with the verbal abuse. He started complaining about my booty tights and, you know, I said, wait a minute. I said, isn't that how you attracted him? She said, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I said, so why would he, you know, eventually start putting hands on you because the way you attracted him is with your ass in the first place? Because she's like a Becky with ass. So I'm like, I said, damn, I said, you didn't catch the signals of a guy being insecure? I said, anytime you deal with an emotional guy that complains about what you wear, they are insecure. Like, you gotta just bounce the spot. Anytime, look, if you're a woman, any single time you deal with a guy that complains about what you got on, or just exit the spot. That's a red flag. That means you're dealing with an emotional, which makes an irrational man. So I'm like, you didn't catch the signs early? She's like, no, you know, I wanted to make things work. You know, he really was persistent with me. You know, I'm just a single mother. I have a kid, blah, blah, blah. He would get mad at me for going to the grocery store. Like, he was just really jealous. I said, that's when you leave. You don't stay with a jealous guy. Like, if there's any females watching, which I doubt there is, if there's any females watching, listen, you have to leave immediately if a guy is jealous. You can't fix a guy's jealousy. If you're a female, right? Yo, thank you for the prime. I appreciate it. If you're a female, right? Don't ever think you could change a jealous guy. Jealousy is something that a guy has to mature with, or some men just, jealousy never exits their mental and they're always going to be jealous. I feel like it comes with experience, and a lot of men don't get the chance to get experience in life, which is why they stay jealous for life. But the way to cure jealousy as a man is basically to just get fucked over plenty of times in your life by chicks. The more you get fucked over, the more you become numb to the shit. And then on top of that, you just don't get jealous anymore. You be like, oh, she wanna wear booty pants? Oh, okay. Because I used to be like that. I remember when I was like 16, right? I had this girlfriend, and she like came to school, and she had like her zipper on her shit down with her cleavage showing. And I said, zip. She's like, why did you do that? I said, because why are you showing your tits like at school? Like, why are you showing cleavage? She's like, oh my God, it's not that serious. Zip. So I take it, I go, zip. She says, wow, are you serious? Zip. I said, zip. We just kept going back. It was zip, 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 zip. We just kept going back and forth. And then when she walked away, she went zip. And I was just like, long story short, fast forward. I think I told you guys this story before, but I'm going to just tell you the short version. Long story, fast forward. I was so jealous when I was a 16-year-old motherfucking kid, you know, because I thought I was going to marry every chick that I was with. She ended up dumping me, and I was all, you know, crying on the phone, rolling on the ground, banging my head in the fucking, you know, refrigerators and all that type of shit. So I feel like to all of my like young ass viewers in here under 22 years old, if there's anybody in there under 22, fall hard for chicks now. So when you hit like 25, you don't even give a fuck no more. You just like, oh, you know, you just develop this bravado and swagger to where nobody could fuck with you mentally. I feel like once you start hitting 25, it's a little bit too late. You can still learn, but once you start hitting 25, now you playing with fire. Because if you go from like the ages of like 15 to 22, you got all those years to get fucked over by chicks. And then you could just be like this solid ass headstrong dude by the time you're 25. Because like when you hit 25, you're gonna be like, man, that shit was never heartbreak. It was extreme disappointment. There's no such thing as heartbreak anyway. It's just called extreme disappointment. What the fuck is heartbreak? What the fuck is that? Our hearts don't break. They continue to pump blood
and fuel electricity through us, which keeps the human body moving anyway. That's what pumps us. Blood, electricity. We're running off electricity. So heartbreak, that's just a man-made corny ass term. It's extreme disappointment. You just can't believe somebody did this. I can't believe I got dumped. That feeling is disappointment. There's no fucking heartbreak. You're just extremely disappointed. Nah, I'm nobody's dad, bro. I'm just a nigga that's older than you with more experience. Fuck a lot of chicks. And I literally have no emotions. What I consider myself is what the demographics considers me. So the public considers me light skinned. I call myself peanut butter. Nah, I'm definitely not brown. Brown is like Michael B. Jordan. Like, I fucked with chicks who, you know, it's just my lighting and everything, but I fucked with chicks who, they meet me in person, be like, oh, you're too yellow for me. I want me a chocolate guy. I'm like, oh, I didn't finish the story with the gym girl? Okay, where did I leave off? Because everybody was asking me multiple questions and shit. Oh yeah, so she told me that the reason why she's been out the gym for so long is because the dude that she met in the gym, and I think I remember who the fuck he was. He's like some overly grimily tatted, short, fake, stocky, Zach. And she said basically the dude got so jealous off the tights that she was wearing. So how do you get jealous the fact that your girl has ass? Yeah, so I said, so the dude got jealous about the tights that he basically probably came up and talked to you at the gym in the first place for? She's like, yeah, it was just so weird. She was like, he kept complaining about my crop tops and kept complaining about my pants. And I told him that I keep ripping gym pants. So I don't know what the deal was, but he kept complaining about my pants. And I'm like, listen, bro, these are the only pants that fit me. It's not that I'm trying to show my ass and have, you know, pants tucked in my ass, but these are the pants that fit. I've tried everything. I guess he was just like, I don't give a fuck what it is. Like, I don't want you wearing those fucking pants. You're trying to get attention. Like, you're at the gym bending over, busting shit open. Yeah, so basically she was fucking with an insecure dude for months, and she went missing for probably, I think she went missing out the gym for like about a good 5 months, and she came back like 3 times bigger. I was just like, damn, how do people get in relationships and just let themselves go? Yeah, he was beating her. Yeah, she said that the dude was like abusive. He was beating her ass and shit. And she said she ended up having to just cut shit off. She said she tried like 2-3 times with the dude. He kept begging her, I'm sorry, baby. Like, we'll get therapy. How the fuck you need therapy in a uncontracted relationship? Nah, she got bigger. Like, I didn't even notice her. I was like, I said, that kind of looks like Madonna. I'm thinking in my head, that looks like Madonna, but like way bigger. Well, that's the reason why I gave her the nickname Madonna in the first place. Because when everybody was at Crunch in 2020, she was like really slim, in shape, Becky with ass, you know, like wearing her Nike hats and really doing her shit. So some chicks, they'll get into relationships and just allow themselves to just blow up or let themselves go because they get with a fucking insecure ass dude. Thoughts on Kai Cenat? Dope content creator, fearless. Definitely fuck with his content.